Hello everyone. Welcome to the User of Bricks channel. Today we will be going over animated block models. Uh, this I am uploading this video this Monday because instead of one from any of my other videos, because I asked on my Discord server which video you guys would like to see, and you guys chose this one over other options. And if you would like to get onto some of those polls, go to the description down below and get onto my Discord server. Okay, so animating block models. Now, to do this, we have to work with some animated textures and model trickery. So, first off, before I actually show you how to create the animated texture, which makes your model look animated, as that is actually what is happening, I will show you how this is done. So, in front of me, you can see I have a cube, and we are going to animate this cube. To animate, you can see that I have 3 more cubes hidden. And if you couldn't tell already, I am in blockbench. This should work with just about any other block modeler for Minecraft, as long as it exports in the JSON format. Not Java format, JSON format. Now, think of your animation in terms of frames. My animation will make the cube spin, so I have created frames, or a model per frame for each frame. And yeah, pretty much what the animated texture will do is it will show the textures for this cube first, then it will hide that cube and show the next cube in a split second, and then hide that one and show the next, and then hide that one and show the next, and then hide that one and show the next. You get the idea. Now, the easiest way for you guys to do this, let me get rid of those demonstration cubes right now, is to create your main model, add the display or whatever. Let's add a quick display, apply everywhere, default block. And yeah, so once you have your main model, you will want to export this main version. So export block model. Let's put it on my desktop in my files and create a new folder. Let's call this block spin. Okay, and just to organize the models. Now, name this model something like your model, so block, and then the frame number. This will help you know the order in which you want your frames to be ordered. So this is frame 1. Save that. Now go rotate your cube, or go to create the next frame and export a block model. Second frame, rotate, or whatever you're trying to do, move it around, whatever, export 3, frame 3. Next frame, export frame 4. Next frame. Oh, that's back. Now we're back to our original state. So you can have as many frames as you want with this way of going about it, because I have found a tool online that allows you to create an animation. Now, if you are needing to create a little more complex animation, like you want to have two different animations, two different animations in the same model that are running at, say, different speeds, you could create all of the frames needed to have all of the different variations and just put them in order, but that tends to get into the hundreds of models. What you'll have to do is look through the animation, and I'll show you this later, but you'll have to look through and just look at it to the texture file to understand how the animation goes about doing it. So for this basic animation, we are done with, well, almost done with the model. Now you will want to go to the website, the second link down in this description. First is Discord, second is a link, and this link will take you to this website. Now, don't worry about it being not secure. That's only because it's a GitHub kind of thing. So you will want, you will be able to view your model, but you want to go to this load resources thing and choose files. And you want to navigate to your models. Import them all in. What are these errors? Could not texture. Oh, right. Okay, so we need to add the texture files as well. So if you are using texture files that you've already inputted into MCreator, or you know where they already are, go ahead and use them. But if you just want to grab a texture from MCreator, you want to go into your MCreator folder, Forge, and then Textures, and you want to have your textures in blocks. We will be putting the animated texture along with its partner file. I'll show you that after we do this, but I used this texture, choose, and now they are all loaded. If you have more than one texture, it will be fine. Just put that in here as well and click load. But so there's our starting model, and as you can see, I put that down here into this lower area, and this is where you will create your animation. So put them in order, and you can click the play button, and as you can see, it is animated. You can reset it to if you need to completely start over, but you want to put all of those in there and then export. Okay, so pack format, you will, if you're going for 1.12.2, you will want this to be version 3. You want the model to be blocks, and then whatever you want your model to be named. So for me, this would be block_spin. Remember, do not ever use spaces. Always use come on, why am I blanking on it? Always use I believe that's underscores. Okay, so, and then click export. And it will go to your downloads. Boy, my downloads are messy. One moment while I get the model. And you will want to load it back into blockbench. And to do that, you'll go to File, Open Model, and you want to find your file. Okay, so I found out that you can't just immediately load it into blockbench. It will be downloaded as a zip. You will have to unpack this zip, and it'll open a file with which it pretty much has its own texture pack in it, and it will have your texture, and it will have your model. So you will want to load your model into blockbench. You can just drag it into it if you're on a Mac. If you're on Windows, you'll probably have to go through the File, Open Model, find your model file, and go through that. So now, as you can see, it is loaded in, and I believe, yeah, it will show you the first frame because blockbench can automatically tell that you have an animated texture. If you see those faint lines, that is the edges of the animated texture and whatnot. Those will not show up in game. They're just barely visible. Like there's one dotted line going right up the center there. But anyway, this tells us that this is working. And as you can see, there are the 4 cubes, again, like I had at the beginning of the video. Okay, now you can close out of blockbench, and you will be fine. You can quit blockbench if you need to. I do, as while I am recording, my computer becomes a little slow. So the next step would be, if you're going to use this for MCreator, is putting it in your resources. So first off, you'll want to put the texture in. Don't put the use the import textures, as you can't import an animated texture. You will want to create a new texture, animated texture, and you'll want to add frames from animation strip, and you'll want to go in and find that file. For me, that will be in my downloads, and the file that you saw before, assets, Minecraft, textures, block1 PNG. open that, and that will show you the preview of the first frame. So, I mean, you can change colors and whatnot, but I'd suggest not to, as you have already chosen the textures for how they're colored and whatnot. So click Add. That'll create the different frames. As you can see, there are 4 frames here, so there are 4 different corners of the texture that are for the animation. Now, these will look a little different depending, so yeah. This is where you can choose how fast you want your animation to play. Sadly, you won't be able to see the animation, but already from before, when we looked here, that is pretty much what's happening in the... okay, there, we're back. Yeah, so this speed right here is what you saw over there. So we'll want to... you can lower the number up here to speed it up, or you can lower it down to slow it down, and that's what I am wanting to do. Let's go over here real quick, and I guess you could actually fiddle around with it in here. So this is at 1 frame each. Let's add, see what it's like at 4 frames each. What I'm editing right now is the frames. Oh no, we do not want it at 4 frames. Let's try 2 frames. Okay, so that's what we want. We actually do want it at those 2 frames. Okay, so let's pause that animation. Do not use the interpolate frames, as since this has what is it? Transparency in the texture itself, this will ruin the animation and you will get these black glitches in your animation and it looks awful. So do not click that. Once you have your speed that you want set, you can hit Use. And what kind of texture is this? Since we will be linking this with the model, click Block and name it block_spin. Click OK. Texture size. The original texture is a 32 by 32. Since this the texture only uses a quarter of the entire area, we want it to be a 64 by 64. Wait, nope, my math is wrong. 32 by 32. This is not a 32 by 32 texture. This is a 16 by 16. So the edge will be in the animated texture is 32. Click OK. And that is your animation. It will appear right there. And yeah, next you will want to go to 3D models and texture mappings, import your JSON, go to wherever your model is that you downloaded from the website, click Open, and the main will be that texture right there. Save mappings, and now that model you can attach to a block, or alternatively you can attach it to an item. So this is for more than just blocks. Okay, so that does it for this, the basic block animations. Now, for the more complex ones, let's go ahead and look at the texture. When you have multiple animations, I would suggest creating them separately. So let's do that real quick. Open up blockbench again. And let's find the animation. Okay, we're back in. So, to do animations, like we created one animation right here. Let's select all of these, and then we'll import the same animation so that we have 2 blocks spinning instead of just one. So let's move this. Let's move this down into one of the corners. There we are. And to add in another animation, you'll want to create your other animation. For me, I'm just going to have the same animation, just have it in another spot as well. And you can use 2 animations at the same time. 2 different textures will mean 2 different animations. Yeah. So we will want to add model, and you will want to find your animation, and it will add it in just like that. And there pretty much we have that. So I'm going to put this, yeah. So there we have 2 animations right there. As you can see, this new animation, it has been put in a folder. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I would suggest you have all of your different animations, if you have multiples, in different files, as this will help with organization and help it not be so complicated. So yeah, that is the basics of multiple animations in one block. So have fun with that. This will be available eventually on my website, of which I have not fully created. Actually, no, not on my website. It will, the MCR file for the tutorial mod will be eventually on my Discord. But since there are a few things in here that are not uploaded yet, this will only be available to my patrons. You will only have to pledge $1 a month to get this file. So please go support me on Patreon. It helps me a ton to be able to continue to create these videos every Monday for you guys. So yes, this has been the User of Bricks. I have shown you how to create animated blocks. Have a nice day.